What's up, guys? So here are my picks for UFC on ESPN: Volkov versus Overeem, and let's get to it. It's a pretty cool event. I actually think that it's better than UFC 258. UFC 258 is pretty shitty for a pay per view event. So this one should be 258, and 258 should be a fight night, but whatever. So Overeem versus Volkov. I have Volkov by knockout round two, and here we go again on another fight where I think, in my opinion, it's pretty easy to predict what each one is gonna want to do, and it's gonna come down to see who's actually able to implement their particular game plan or strategy. Um, So there's no way that Overeem's game plan for this fight is to go in there and trade punches with Volkov. Like, there's no way that his team, whatever, we're like, hey, we're gonna go there and just knock Volkov out and trade punches with him. Impossible. He's asking to get knocked out. He will be playing into Volkov's strength, which is striking. Volkov in his last fight, he destroyed Walt Harris. It was a second round knockout. However, it was not competitive at all. Volkov showed that he's a really good striker, and he looked faster and better than I had seen him before. I remember when he first came into the UFC, I was like, oh, this guy seems like just nothing special, but against Walt Harris, who again is not really the greatest striker, but he looked actually awesome. The one before that with Curtis Blaze, he got humped into a decision, like straight up humped for 4 rounds or whatever. Now he's taking on Overeem, who in his last fight, if you watch his last fight versus Augusto Sakai, had that been a 3-round fight, I think Sakai would have won 29-28, because, in my opinion, Sakai won round 1 and 2 with the striking. But the one thing that Overeem has shown, and he showed it in that fight, he also showed it in the Walt Harris fight, even in the Rancistruc fight, that whenever he gets into trouble in the striking department, he will rely on his grappling. And why wouldn't he? He knows how to submit people. He knows how to do ground and pound. And if you watch his last fight against Sakai, it's a prime example of what Overeem can do when he sees that he's not doing that great on the stand-up. He was able to, I think it was a combination of Sakai getting a little bit tired, and then the fact that once he got taken down, he had no answer to Overeem's ground and pound. And there were even times that it seems as if Sakai was like content holding down, like staying down. I don't see Volkov doing that. Once again, I want to believe that, even me, as not as a fighter, but as someone who watches the sport, there is no way. I am convinced that teams watch footage on the fighter that they're gonna go against. So if they have done their homework and they have watched Overeem's last fights, they have to know that Overeem will go for a takedown once he thinks that is better for him, and that's gonna be the case on this fight. If Overeem wants to win or wants to have a chance of winning, he has to take Volkov down and try to submit him or land ground and pound. I am convinced that Volkov is going to be aware of that and very well prepared. I don't think Overeem has the wrestling that Curtis Blade has at all. And Volkov having to prepare for Blades, and now Overeem, I'm for sure that he's worked on his takedown defense and his ability to scramble and get up if he gets taken down. I thought the same thing about Neil Magny against Michael Chiesa, and Michael Chiesa just took him down at will and controlled him. So, we'll see. In the last 3 events, I've missed, the main event and the co-main event. So if this pattern continues, it means that Overeem's going to win. So, but hopefully that will break it this time. So Volkov by KO or TKO round 2. He keeps the fight standing, eventually lands something that knocks Overeem out. Co-main event, we have Corey Sandhagen over Frankie Edgar. I have Sandhagen winning this one all day. I'm picking some Sandhagen by KO or a TKO round 1. I mean, where do we start? So Sandhagen is 5'11", Frankie Edgar is 5'6". Sandhagen is 28, Frankie Edgar is almost 40. More reach, also 70 inches for Corey, 68 for Frankie Edgar. Knockout power, kicks, precision, everything. As far as striking, Sandhagen takes a dump on Frankie Edgar. He's a minus 440 favorite. And yeah, this is a fight that kind of like not necessarily like the main event, because Overeem also has a puncher's chance. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. Overeem, on top of the grappling, he also punches hard. So if he lands hard, he can knock Sandhagen out. Frankie Edgar, man, the only time that I remember seeing him putting someone away with one punch was Chad Mendes many years ago. So the puncher's chance, I don't really put it there, especially considering how good of a striker Sandhagen is and how much taller and faster and everything he is. I think that the Frankie Edgar has a chance of winning this fight. It's going to have to be a grappling match where he's going to have to be able to completely out-grapple Sandhagen. And once again, just like the main event, there is no way that Sandhagen and his team do not know this, that they're going to think that Frankie Edgar is going to go there and trade punches with him after what he did to Moraes. And the thing about Moraes is, while Moraes has, poor chin and weak conditioning, at the very least, the first round, Moraes is actually a killer, a pretty good fighter. Again, put aside his chin and cardio, his offense is high level, but Corey Sandhagen made him look like he wasn't. And I don't think Frankie Edgar, explosive, aggressive, comes any close to Moraes, at least on the first round. Frankie Edgar can go 5 rounds, that's for sure. But at his best, I don't think he is, like, full of energy. Frankie Edgar, I don't think would be able to do to Moraes what Sandhagen did, on the first round. I'm being specific here. I would pick Edgar to beat Moraes on the later rounds, but on the first round, that was, I think, that was most impressive about Sandhagen. So yeah, unless Frankie Edgar manages to take Sandhagen down and completely out-grapple him, I give him no chance. And I'm picking Sandhagen to knock him out round 1. Even if you look at Frankie Edgar's last fight against Pedro Munoz, there were many takedowns that Munoz stopped, and the few that he landed, Munoz got up. So again, if Sandhagen is well prepared, I have Sandhagen all day. And then Diego Ferreira versus Beneil Dariush, the rematch. He's my underdog. I'm actually surprised that Dariush is the underdog here. I'm picking Dariush to win by KO or TKO round 2. By everything, I just don't see where Ferreira is better. If we get into like very specifics, I could understand that the argument that Ferreira has better submissions. Maybe, because when Dariush gets a hold of something, he knocks you out. But striking, Dariush destroys him. I don't think it's even going to be competitive as far as the striking. And grappling, while I think maybe Ferreira has better submissions, overall, takedown ability and grappling, I don't think Ferreira's going to go there and take him down and submit him. Ferreira hasn't fought in over a year, and his last win was a broken Anthony Pettis. Pettis looked good on his last fight, but on that fight, Pettis looked like shit. He didn't even shine on the striking. And Ferreira didn't even look that good on the striking. And that was over a year ago. Beneil Dariush is like been knocking people out. So he knocked out Holtzman, knocked out Drakkar Close, submitted Frank Camacho, submitted Drew Dober, dominated Thiago Moises. He is younger than Dariush, taller, And I think he has a better camp. Those guys from King's MMA are actually pretty good at everything they do. So I am shocked that Dariush is the underdog, but he officially is the underdog. And again, you gotta wonder, Ferreira, 36 years old, way past the mid 30s, a year layoff. Dariush KO TKO round 2. I don't see Ferreira winning this one because I believe Ferreira's chances of winning is to take Dariush down, and he's not gonna take Dariush down. I mean, this guy has shown that his takedown ability, grappling ability is on par, if not better than Ferreira's. Again, maybe not on submissions specifically, but the takedown ability, the grappling, is what gives him the edge, in my opinion. So Dariush by KO TKO round 2. So over inside, and then I have a Michael Johnson, Clay Guida. I have Michael Johnson destroying Clay Guida by knockout round 1. If Michael Johnson loses to Clay Guida, he needs to retire, reconsider his career, and stick to something else. If you let 40-year-old Clay Guida come and beat you, you have no chance of ever doing anything in the UFC as far as rankings or whatever. On the stand-up, Michael Johnson destroys Clay Guida. Something about Michael Johnson that a lot of people don't realize is, if you look at his last fight versus Thiago Moises Johnson, he lost by submission round 2. But if you actually go and watch it, he absolutely destroyed Moises round 1. Stopped every single takedown, completely outstriked him. He literally was giving Moises a striking clinic. Moises had no answer for Johnson on the speed, on the footwork, on the technique, on nothing. Like Johnson was just having his time. And then round 2 starts. Literally, the first thing Moises does is shoots for a single, and he gets it, and then submits him. And even the fight against Josh Emmett, which if you go and watch it, Michael Johnson dominated him all round 1, all round 2, and then one punch from Emmett puts him away. Every single second that this fight stays on the feet, Clay Guida is going to be a punching bag for Michael Johnson. Similar to the main event. There is no way Johnson doesn't know this. The only way Clay Guida wins this fight is if he goes there and completely outgrapples and humps MJ into a decision or submits him. Clay Guida has no chance at striking with Michael Johnson at all. Like, it's gonna be like pro versus amateur. So if Michael Johnson hasn't done his research and has not prepared himself to stop, the pressure and the takedowns from Clay Guida, which is what he's gonna do, just forget about it. And again, he showed in the past that he can stop a takedown, but and I don't believe Guida is a better grappler than Moises. So yeah, Michael by brutal knockout round 1. If he loses, retire, just hang them up. And then Mike Rodriguez versus Danilo Marques. Mike Rodriguez is coming from probably the most controversial bullshit referee fuck up in the history of the UFC. Mike Rodriguez won that fight by a knee to the body, round 2. Ed Herman was out. He faked that it was a nut shot. The referee believed it. I'm still surprised they don't watch cameras in the UFC, because that would solve a lot of bullshit calls. But Rodriguez finishes him with the knee to the body, is out, TKO, via knee to the body. But the referee lets it go. In round 3, Ed Herman submits him. I'm out of time here. Danilo Marques, he's a grappler. Same situation. He's going to have to out-grapple Rodriguez if he wants to win. I believe Rodriguez is aware, and Rodriguez will knock him out round 2. And he's going to come to prove a point after what happened to him. So Volkov by KO TKO round 2. Sandhagen by KO or TKO round 1. Dariush by KO TKO round 2. Johnson by KO or TKO round 1. And then Mike Rodriguez by KO or TKO round 2. All right, guys, have a good one.